Alrighty, and welcome back to NJPW G1 Climax Tournament 2016. Kicking off the tournament matches with Nakajima taking on Yoshihashi. Just got Genius of the Kick coming up on the screen. Popped off. Lights are moving around. Lots of him kicking around stuff. There he comes out of the curtains. Walking down. You should have it synced up by now. And doesn't he look determined? Of course, I usually count along to the ref's count, so once we get into the match, that'll make it a little easier to sync up. Just sync it up to the 1-2s, which there will be quite a few of before we get to a 1-2-3. Kind of SOP for NJPW. Guess I'll just go ahead and talk about some of my stuff while we're waiting for the match to get underway. My little ads that I put in here for things. I have a brand of t-shirts out called Ann Snarkist. Find that at Zazzle. Ann Snarkist. ANSNARKIST. Ann Snarkist. The main t-shirt of the brand would be I Am Snarky. Only it's I am snarky. Like anarchy, but am snarky. Alright, there's Yoshihashi with his pimp cane. Or just whatever the hell that is. Do not know the significance of the cane. Doesn't really matter. It's a prop. Still sporting the sports tape on his arm there, his shoulder. Damn near everybody's got some minor injury at this point, I think. And here we go. Be a bit interesting. We got Yoshihashi, bit more of a traditional style. Doesn't really use the strong style all that much. Nakajima from Noah, another promotion affiliated with NJPW. Kind of uses the strong style. A lot of kicks. When he gets going. Although, honestly, at this point, I don't really know why his moniker is the Genius of Kicks, since he's done maybe one thing that's a bit different than just straight kicking. Yoshihashi, side headlock there, running the ropes, misses the kick, hits the shoulder tackle, knocks him down, hits the back shoulder, big slam, wasting time, doesn't want to waste time. Needs to keep in mind that Nakajima beat Yuji Nagata, who has beat Yoshihashi. So He needs to stay on top of things. A spin kick to him, sitting on the top there. Caught him. And now Nakajima just kind of meandering around. Yeah, sizing him up. Nails him with another kick. Like he went for that injured shoulder. And we get a prolonged shot of his ass for no particular reason. Then the camera people are a bit daft at times. Kojima sizing him up, kicking that shoulder again. He had his damn sweet time about doing anything, though. Kicks him again while stomping on him, really. They'll roll him into the ring. Nope, gonna sit him into the guardrail. Gonna go for a walk here. It looks like they're gonna go for a walk. Messing with that injured arm. An arm wrench. Nope, gonna bring him back. Nope, gonna twist his elbow on the... So most of the pressure there is on the elbow, not the shoulder. Tried to kick his arm, but Yoshihashi fell down. Definitely showing signs of fatigue and damage in that arm. I'm gonna... Kinda tied him up there and then stomped the shoulder. He's trying to pick him apart here, really focusing on that wounded shoulder, but kind of, as they say in movies, chewing the scenery. Not really trying to finish Yoshihashi off. He's not really doing anything to finish the match. He's just attacking him there. 1-2. Only a 2 count. Trying to kind of shock him and then get a 3 count, but didn't work. Interesting. I don't think we've really seen any submission wrestling out of this guy. So, be interesting to see if he can actually do anything about that shoulder being injured other than just kicking it repeatedly. Yashi misses the drop kick. Nakajima catching himself on the ropes, goes back to the shoulder. Nope, just standing on him. Kind of submission attempt there, but not a very competent one. Kind of appear that this guy is not just a kick specialist, he's also not very well versed in ground game at all. Big kick into the corner, another kick. I think that could cause him some problems. Yoshihashi gets nailed with a big drop kick there, but Yoshihashi was kind of a 1-2, only 2 count. Kind of a high flyer of the, a heavyweight, low range heavyweight, mostly a high flyer there for a long time. Then he started bringing in some new moves and adopted that submission hold he's been using as his primary finisher. So now he's a lot less reliant on using that swanton. That was what he was using when I first started watching last year. Good portion of this year so far. It's only been a couple of 3 months that he's adopted that submission hold. Yashi firing back. Forearms in, chop. Trying to get some momentum built. Nice overcastle, takes Nakajima down. That could really make a big difference there. Yoshihashi also tends to focus on one body part. He focuses a lot of his offense on the neck, but he sets him up for that submission hold by doing that. And an in, big running chop there. Hangs him up. Watch where he kicks. Right into the lower back. Well, it's the upper back, actually. Only two count. Connects right in that shoulder, the neck and shoulder area, right where the pressure from that submission hold is applied. Nakajima, he's gotten a lot of kicks in on that arm, shoulder, but does he actually have anything in his arsenal to take advantage of it? Haven't seen anything so far. Yashi getting him up, trying for a power bomb, gets head scissored over. Takes Yoshihashi off his feet. Able to avoid the big elbow, or I think it was elbow or forearm. Yoshihashi showing that he can take some punishment, but gets hit with a dragon suplex, snap version, release version. That really didn't have a whole lot of snap on it. Yoshihashi, shoulder breaker, I think. Maybe variation on a tombstone. I couldn't quite tell, because I saw him go down to one knee, but it looked like he kept one knee up, so I couldn't tell if that was a tombstone or a shoulder breaker. Back was to the camera. Either way, again, that's targeting the head, that part of the body where all the pressure for that submission hold is. He has a focused offense. Starting to show that he can really tough out some of those moves. He's adapting, evolving. Really what I was hoping to see in this tournament. I thought it would be really interesting to see Yoshihashi in the tournament. He's come through, and I don't expect him to win. I don't think anyone expects him to win. It's his very first time. Powerbomb, 1, 2, only 2 count. But your first time in a tournament like this, of course you're going to want to win, but even if you don't, the growth that you can have, just the experience of going through a tournament like this, absolutely priceless. Looking for that swanton, I imagine. Loose explosion. Lands on the knees, though. Well, shins. Dima. It's another one of those kicks. Another thrust kick. Another thrust kick. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Another penalty kick, hits it. Now going to go for the brain buster. Yashi floats over. It's the twisting enziguri. Miss on the second penalty kick attempt. Upward thrusting clothesline. Takes him down. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Gotta not able to get out of the brainbuster attempt. finished the match for him. Yoshihashi, a little bit more spry, a little bit more loose. Yoshihashi going for that new finisher he's been using, a pump handle driver. Hits it. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Yoshihashi caught him. Takes Yoshihashi up to 3 wins. The A block, very much a story of Okada and Makabe so far. Marufuji with 3 wins. Okada and Makabe both with 4. Everyone else at 2 in the A block. Every single other competitor at 2 wins. Nakajima a little pissed off there. B block a little bit more dynamic so far. We got Nakajima there staying at 3-2, going down to 3-2. Yoshihashi moving up to 3-2. Nagata so far at 3-1. We'll have to see if he goes up 4-1 or goes 3-2 in his match. Still up, we've got Michael Elgin, who can move up to 3-2. Evil is only at 1 win so far. He can move up 2-3. Naito sitting at 2-2. He can move up 3-2. Shibata and Omega both at 2 wins so far. They can move up 3-2 if they win. Toriano at 1. He can move up 2-3. Be interesting to see how things play out in the B block. I thought the B block was probably going to be the more interesting of the blocks, just because there's going to be more matches that we've never seen before. Or at least I've never seen them before. But in a lot of cases, just nobody has. You know, Yoshihashi, this is his first major run in singles competition, so pretty much every single match with Yoshihashi is something new. Michael Elgin hasn't gone up against most of these guys in one-on-one competition. Because if memory serves, he was in the B block last year. So he did have a match with Hanma. I think Nagata was in the A block. I could be wrong about that. He may have been in B block. I need to look that up. Naito and Shibata I know were in A block last year. Kenny Omega wasn't in the heavyweight division last year. Toriano was in the A block. Nakajima is a Noah wrestler. He wasn't in the tournament last year, and Yoshihashi wasn't in it last year. Just more variation in matches, I think, than the A block. Still, of course, the A block is got Tama Tonga, his first time in the tournament, his first major foray into singles competition, and Marufuji. But as far as the big story that I think was always going to make the B block very interesting, Kenny Omega and Naito going head-to-head in a match. We're seeing Nagata and Michael Elgin. Let me go ahead and bring that up right quick. So yes, we did have Nagata and Elgin face off last year. And Hanma as well. So a couple of repeat matches there. But again, Hanma has actually been doing better this year. Michael Elgin has kind of evolved through his work here in NJPW. So things aren't the same. Not that they all ever really are, but you know what I mean. So just starting off real strong here, and Nagata getting rocked by Elgin's big forearm there. But returns with a kick, goes for another one, gets caught. Little flurry of activity there. Exploder attempt, reversed. Okay, now Nagata has the weird things all over his back. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe some sort of treatment that they use, or... 1, 2, count. I'm sure it means something. I just don't know what it is. Elgin going to send Nagata into the guardrail there. Not a whole lot of force, just enough to get his attention. Big chop. Finish what I was saying right quick. The Kenny Omega is the new leader of Bullet Club, and Naito the leader of Los Ingobernables. Big leg drop on the apron there. So, first time those two are going to be going up against each other. And we may have seen some interaction between Los Ingobernables and the Bullet Club during the tag team tournament. But I did not see that tournament. So, I don't know if members of the respective factions actually did face off in that. So, if not, this tournament is going to be the first time we're really seeing Bullet Club and Los Ingobernables in the ring together. We saw Sonata and Bad Luck Fale in the ring. But yeah, anybody who watches this, if you know what the deal is with those circles on Nagata's back, if it's like some sort of Japanese traditional medicine or like some sort of self-punishment, maybe, I don't know. Something that's supposed to increase their chi, maybe. I don't know. Although, I think the whole chi-ki thing, that's more Chinese. Yeah, if you know what it is, let me know in the comments for the video. Just, I'm curious what it's all about, because Tenzan came out with that. Big kicks there. And the exploder. 1, 2, and short 2 count. Got for a suplex or maybe a brain buster. Logan bustling out of it. But Nagata responds with some kicks. Caught. Enziguri. Doesn't quite take Nagata all the way down. Definitely rattles him. But for a big clothesline and hits it. Look for another one and misses. Gotta gets out of the way. Kind of a boss man slam there, two count only. Not quite as much impact. Big boss man, when he used that move, you felt like he was about to break someone. Trying for maybe a power slam. Nagata gets out of it. Changing blows. Forearms there. Elgin looking to get the better of it. Go for that clothesline again. Gets stopped. Nagata looking for the really more of a side belly-to-belly suplex from that position rather than a backdrop. Elgin finally connects with that clothesline. He's been looking for that for a while now. There's the backdrop. High impact right there. Really folding Elgin up. Nagata did have a win streak going, but he lost that last match to Nakajima, which set him back to only 3-1. So far in the tournament, Makabe has the best win streak, 4-1. And since everyone else has lost at this point, that's the best win streak of the tournament for this year. Big Enziguri connects. Michael Elgin looking to go up top. For a big splash. Crossbody perhaps. Nagata gets up too quick though. Elgin trying to fight him off. Nagata doesn't want to fall. Show that he's going to be able to tough it out. And he does. He's laying some forearms in of his own, looking for an exploder from the top. Elgin's trying to struggle out of it, but does not succeed. It's the exploder from the top. 1, 2. Only a 2 count, but a long 2 count. Exploder suplex. Here in the States, we tend to call it a T-bone. Got it going for a big knee or there, I think, but got caught. Elgin looking for the buckle bomb. Hits it. He's going to go for that spin out. Power bomb. Nagata gets him down. Goes for that arm bar. He rolls the eyes. It means he's got it really locked in. There he goes. Elgin is trying to pull his way over to the ropes. Nagata tried to really sit on there and wrench it in, but Elgin got over too quick. Had it on the other arm, I believe. Not have it on the arm that was already wounded. If he had, that may very well have been it. Nagata looking for an exploder on the apron, or off the apron. Elgin does not want that to happen, fought out of it. Catches Nagata. Basically a Death Valley driver onto the apron. Ouch. Big time ouch. Apron area basically is the hardest part of the ring. That's where all the support for the mat, which is basically just canvas stretched over plywood. There's plywood underneath there supported by supports. German 1, 2, only 2 count. And canvas is stretched over that. Some promotions do use very thin mats underneath there, but talking those really thin ones that if you land the wrong way, they aren't going to protect your ass for nothing. But most promotions still use the traditional canvas over plywood. And of course, the ropes are, in fact, steel cables. Elgin goes off the top for a big splash. Nagata gets out of the way. Elgin gave him way too much time. 1, 2. Got it going for an arm bar, but Elgin able to use his size and force Nagata over. Backhand to the future, connects it hard, big clothesline. And for buckle bomb again, hits it. Go for the power bomb and hits it. 1, 2, and 3. Michael Elgin moves up. 3-2. Elgin really had to lay in some serious offense there, but he managed to get Nagata down in the end. But I think if Nagata would have focused on that shoulder a bit more and then gone for the arm bar on that shoulder, he probably could have got him. Shake hands, maybe? Guys tend to be pretty honorable. That's what I like to see. Just because you lost a match doesn't mean you need to be a little bitch about it. Never understood some of the attitude in the more combat-oriented sports or pro wrestling, and we all know what pro wrestling is. It's a show, it's a performance, but it's based on combat sports. So I've never really understood why some of the attitudes that are presented in pro wrestling are the attitude some people have about being in pro wrestling. I've just never understood it. You know, guys like Hanma and Tommy Dreamer, I've talked about both of them, are proof that you don't have to win matches to be popular. You know, they've managed to create this, you know, over the years. Hanma's done it in Japan, Tommy Dreamer did it in ECW, and even in that one company, and just his career in general. Being the perpetual underdog. It's worked for him. They've been able to get popular and hardly ever won. Even some of the names like Brooklyn Brawler. His role was as a vetting guy for new talent. He hardly ever won a single damn match in his career, but people still love the guy. He didn't need to win. You know, sometimes you just get these wrestlers that think that they have to win in order to be popular. Like, no. I mean, it works in Japan and it works here in the States too. You watch some of the matches, and the matches that people get into the most are the ones where there's the most back and forth action, the most what's going to happen next type of feel to it. And what people really love is somebody that goes out there and makes you believe it. You don't have to win every match. I mean, even in, like team sports. Nobody thinks, oh, that team did really bad this year. That means that their career is over. They're never going to play again. Bullshit. They can come back next year, maybe change a couple of names on the roster, have them, just do some different stuff in their training in the off season. They come back and they have a great big winning streak or something. They do a real great job the next year. Or whether Toriano was messing around or if he just couldn't get the damn thing off his head. Toriano and Shibata. This is going to be interesting. Kind of similar to what we saw with Shibata and Naito. Naito doesn't really go in for the head games too much. It's possible to get him pissed off, but that usually works against you, because once he gets pissed off, that means he's just going to start kicking you in the head even harder. And it is entirely possible that Toriano will be able to get under his skin and get him to make a mistake. That's what Toru Yano does. Tries to get you to make a mistake so he can use one of those sneaky little moves that he likes to use, a low blow, just a sneaky roll up, so he can get that 1, 2, 3 and then out of the ring. And he usually doesn't run away. Sometimes. And Ida just goes straight in for the big kicks in the corner. Nailing Toriano. Stomping his ass down. Toriano not able to respond. Gets kicked, drop kicked. Head arm suplex. 1, 2. Toriano kicks out. Pada not going to give him any time to recover. He's just going to stay on him and beat the crap out of him. Hung up there. Toriano going after the turnbuckle. They had kind of a clever move right there. 1, 2, only 2 count. Tries to get the roll up. 1, 2, 3. Exactly what I was talking about. Toriano using those sneaky ass pin combinations. Gets the win, and this time he did actually run right out of the ring because he knew that Shibata was just going to try and kick his head off if he stayed. And Shibata is very unhappy with himself. Well, he knew that Toriano would get a few sneaky wins in the tournament. He always manages to pull 2 or 3 out of his ass. That time, Shibata was unlucky enough to be one of them. It's a nice pinning combination, though. Dragging the leg out from under him, then basically floating over and putting his entire body weight right across Shibata's shoulders. Very nice pinning combo. Just surprising enough to keep Shibata from being able to kick out. Alright, I guess while we're waiting for the next match to start, next guys to come down, can't quite make out who it is, and I don't have my schedule up. I see Evil there, Evil and Omega. Alright, so now we're getting another Los Ingobernables going up against Bullet Club situation. Evil. Alright, so I'll go ahead and do one of my little commercials for my own things about the game that I've got out, in case you haven't watched any of these other ones. I've got a new game out. Well, I've got several games. I can talk about all of them. There's Jack to the Future, which is a comedy RPG with some fan game elements. It's basically a parody / satire RPG game starring YouTubers. Some people would call it a fan game. I kind of say that it's more of a parody that just happens to star YouTubers. Apparently that's a distinction that people don't really want to pay any attention to, but me, I'm all about those little nuances and things like that that actually matter. A lot of ways. At least they matter to me. But, yeah, it does kind of annoy me. People don't make, allow for any distinction in the differences. The game is not a love letter to anyone that's in the game. It's just... So to me, in order to be a proper fan game, it has to more or less be like a love letter. My game is not. I've also got Cravenhurst Asylum, which is a psychological horror game. The format of it is an escape game. Start off locked up in a padded cell in an asylum, Cravenhurst Asylum, and you have to escape, is the goal of the game. The genre is psychological horror. I've got a couple of silly little games. One's called Klaus, which is just a little quickie Christmas game I made, and Star Horse, The Search for Cash, which is a really quickie little game that's a parody of the new Star Wars movie that came out. Vega coming out by himself. Looking a little subdued, actually, for Omega. Maybe kind of getting worn down by the schedule. Maybe a bit... let me rephrase that. Maybe some cracks in the confidence showing there after losing to Elgin. He is sitting at 2-2 so far. Not a very good record. This is his first year in the tournament. So let me finish talking about my games right before we... Well, I'll finish up that after the match is over. Hopefully I'll remember. We got kind of a similar situation to his match against Michael Elgin. Evil uses a similar style. He's not as big as Elgin, but he does use a similar style. And Evil beat Elgin. Omega lost to Elgin. Omega smacking him. Takes a kick to the gut, rake of the eyes. Shoulder block takes him down. This is something that's gonna be a little bit problematic for Omega. doing his Terminator shtick there. Gonna look to do a suicide dive, maybe. Evil gets out of the way. Omega fakes him out. Evil wanting to bring a chair into the match. Omega catches him right there. Drop kicked him right through the ropes. They have nailed the chair too. Taking advantage of the ref telling him to put the damn thing down. Situation here, Omega, not a fan of the way he brings cheating into a match, but not really going to be able to get any advantage doing that because Evil will do it right back, and I think Evil's probably a little bit better, at least more vicious about it. Case in point, do the chair over the head into the guard or the post. Make it catches with the foot. Gonna swing. Both miss. Took the seat right out of the chair. Trying to get it just right. Looking for a suplex onto the chair. And Evil stops him. Suplex on the outside. I'm wondering if we might see this from these two, turning into a bit of a hardcore brawl here. Evil looking for the Fisherman Buster and basically just hit it there. Chair completely crumpling underneath. Omega. I'd say both of his sides, he got kind of pinched in between there. Yep, it scraped the fuck out of him. I really don't like him see them doing shit like that anymore. 1, 2. ECW guys, they knew how to do the hardcore shit and not take too many risks. It looked horrific at times, but they knew how to do it right. Omega takes too many risks. Like right there. But Fisherman Buster. Because if he had landed 1, 2, if he had landed wrong on that chair, he very well could have gotten impaled on the damn thing. Got scraped up pretty bad and pinched on either side doing that as it is. Out of probably going for a Death Valley driver, but gets out of it, gets caught by the forearm. I think it catches him. Gonna go for that roll. Hits it with a snap. Right into the moonsault. 1, 2, only a 2 count. He got caught on the edge of that chair bad. And for Dragon, Snapdragon probably. Stops him. Belly to back or a German. He gets caught. Short forearm there. A lot of impact. Catches him with a chop. May have gone a bit high there. Misses on the clothesline. Mega using his speed. Going for the bullfrog. That gets caught into a backdrop. Maybe a side belly to back there. It's kind of fast. And the positioning was a bit off. I don't think he got as much impact off of that as he would have liked to. Big thrust kick to the gut. He fakes him out, drops down, hits the Snapdragon. Going for his finisher. This is an electric chair driver. Pump handle suplex. 1, 2. Variation on a pump handle suplex. There's a couple, 3 different variations on a pump handle suplex. There's that version where you drop them straight on their back. There's the version that Taz used to do that he'd get him in the pump handle and then basically just send him flying. Going for the STO. Omega escapes. Hits the big knee. Another big knee. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Then there's also another version that's similar to the way that gut wrench, going for a power bomb, set out version, hits it. 1, 2, and only a 2 count. But it's similar to the way Evil did it there, only it's a release version, and you don't hit it with quite that much. You don't fold them up. You more or less you hit the pump handle, and then send them from the side, and then you send them flying so they land on their back. You get more height on it and send them flying. Goes for the knee again, gets caught. Belly to back. Omega rolls through. Trying to recover, not able to. Gets him to the clothesline. It's a Death Valley bomb. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. The version Evil did is it's kind of a pump handle suplex driver. The side pump handle suplex you release up in the air so they go flying and land on their back. Taz's version and a few other people have done it. You do it overhead and they land kind of crossing the T. Omega fights out, going for the super kick. Gets caught. Big headbutt there. Discus forearm doesn't connect. Omega manages to hit that big knee and the reverse Hurricane Rana there. The reverse head scissor takeover. Omega firing up, trying to get the crowd fired up, get him on his side. Goes for the big knee and hits it again. Going for his finisher. Is he going to be able to get him? Hits it. This has got to be over 2 and 3. So Omega moves up 3-2. Evil dropping 1-4. B block so far. Evil has had the worst record. Since coming in as Evil, he's feuded almost exclusively with Goto. Not entirely, but I think he may have started off feuding with. See, he came in. Naito had a match. Evil came in. It was it the last match of the tournament? I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was Naito. I'm trying to remember what happened. Evil came in and helped Naito win a match. That was his first appearance in NJPW. Can't remember the exact details, but I know that Evil has mainly been feuding with Goto since he arrived in NJPW. They've had like 3 matches over the last few months. Just in singles competition. Goto finally beat him. Won the feud, more or less. So, could be a situation that the reason Evil's not doing as well as he could is because he's just gotten too used to fighting one person. Kind of harder to adapt to other people when that happens. Okay, so looks like Hanma and Naito. Interesting to see if Hanma can pull a win out here. He managed 2 wins right off the bat, but can he make that a 3 this year? Naito, kind of a mixed bag for him. He's sitting at 2-2 so far. Alright, so while we're waiting for Naito to get his ass down to the ring, he always takes his damn sweet time. I'll finish up what I was saying about the games. So the newest game I've put out is a reworked version of Jack to the Future. Because the site that I put the games on, primarily Game Jolt, they changed their policy and basically turned all anything that they decided was a fan game. They took off the main site and more or less made it a second-class citizens because they introduced a marketplace, and of course they can't make any money off of fan games. They came up with some bullshit excuse. Oh, fan games are pushing all of the original games out of the rankings. It's bullshit. All it really is that they can't make any money off of those, so they're trying to bury them. So I did a reworked version of Jack to the Future, took out anything you could call a fan game, either changed it into more parody elements or removed it entirely. Parody, satire. And it's now called The Adventure of Fuckface. And it's a parody / satirical RPG game based around classic RPGs and the conventions of them. And you can get it on Game Jolt. I've also got it up on itch.io. My developer name that I use is the same as my music producer name that I use. It's Acid Heads, ACIDHEDZ. Alright, here comes Hanma. He's already managed to do better in this tournament than he did in both years combined before. So let's see if he can actually go up to 3 wins this year. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that he's going to sit at 2 for the rest of the tournament, and next year he'll get 3, probably. Naito just kind of looking around. Also looking a bit subdued there. Possibly because he did lose his last match against Shibata. Didn't just lose, Shibata choked his ass out. And Hanma beat Shibata. Naito gonna start playing the head games. This could get Hanma in trouble. He's a lot more fiery than Shibata. A lot more likely to let somebody play the head games and get under his skin. And I just noticed that Hanma apparently is missing a nipple. Something. I don't know. I just happened to be looking at him and noticed that there was something odd about his chest, and I don't know. Maybe the innie outie thing. I don't really know much about that bullshit. But Hanma did start off as a hardcore wrestler, so it's entirely possible that he lost a nipple doing hardcore wrestling. Absolutely possible. Has the distinction. Whether it's actually true or not, it's kind of hard to tell these sorts of things, but Hanma is credited with being one of the guys in the very first hardcore match to feature light bulbs, light tubes. Shoulder block doesn't even rattle him. Takes Naito down with one of his own. Body slam. I'm going to go for the Kakeshi. And misses. Naito shoots in, takes advantage. It's a drop kick. But does not seem inclined to follow up. Going after the knee. Naito has been making heavy use of a new submission hold. Goes after the knee. Wants to slow things down, pick his spots. Gonna take things to the outside now. Look to whip him. Oh, just beat him up on the outside a bit there. Not gonna wrench the knee on the guardrail. If I was Hanma, I know he really prefers to do the honorable thing, and got his leg caught up there. I know just drop kicked him, and I would have been going for the hair. Like, dude's already cheating against you. Go ahead and go for the hair. That hurts. Hanma, you ever hear him talking, has a voice like somebody gargling gravel and asphalt. Actually, because he's had his throat crushed at one point, his larynx. He can still talk, but he sounds like he's gargling gravel and asphalt when he does it. Dude's had a rough career. Trying to work through the pain, force himself to keep going. Naito just gonna mess around, try and get that count out. Hanma struggling. Looking for the count out win, does not get it. Going right back to the knee. Not just a good strategy because of his that submission move he's been using, but huge height on the knee buster there. Driving the knee right down to the mat. Do it again. Yep. Picking him all the way up. Driving him down. Damn. Also a good strategy because Hanma uses a lot of the power wrestling. A lot of his arsenal is power wrestling moves. Naito wrenching on the knee big time. Now Hanma goes for the hair. Where he really shouldn't be. Should have been doing that on the outside. Naito just drives it down again. Chin breaker, knee breaker, chin breaker. Another drop kick. Almost more of a leg drop right there. Hanma slightly odd positioning. Naito reversed figure four. Well, it's a variation on the figure four. So spitting in Hanma's face, that's not going to do him any favors. Naito has been completely in control of this match. Hanma has hardly gotten any offense in at all. Nearly all of it's been focused right in one spot, his knee. Hanma gets to the rope. Naito not breaking it. Telling the ref that he can't get his legs undone. Letting the hold stay in just that little bit longer, do a little bit more damage. Stomping on the head. Yeah, that's not going to work on Hanma. Be focusing on the knee. Stay on the knee. No. This is where Naito can get himself in trouble. He starts getting disrespectful. Feels cocky. Thinks that the other guy cannot possibly retaliate. Now he's going back to the knee. Spits on him again. Gets caught. Hanma clubbing blows to the knee. Naito did get kind of hurt there early on. Goes for the tornado DDT. Hanma catches him. Looking for a big suplex. Gonna muscle him over. Gonna have to hurt himself to do this. All that damage to the knee. Gets him up. Naito trying to fight through. Gets him up and over. Well, he happened to push himself through the pain there. Not so much a clothesline as a clubbing blow to the head there. Catching him. Dropping him down. Having to take a moment to recover, though. Take out the pain. Big chop. And again. And again. Hanma will also occasionally go a bit high on those chops. I think that's something he might have picked up fighting against Ishii. Gets him down with a bulldog and hits the Kakeshi. Break of the eyes, Naito able to stop Hanma's momentum there a bit. Hanma reverses the whip, but eats the boots. Hits a clothesline anyway. Caught. Atomic drop. Drop kick to the knee. Hanma off his feet again. Hanma really trying to shake some feeling back into that knee. Well, I'm sure he has plenty of feeling in there. It's just not any good ones. Trying to shake out the pain. And I'm sure there's more than enough blood in there. I really, 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 really wish people would drop that tired cliche. Only submission holds that have anything to do with blood flow is a sleeper hold. The sweep and a drop kick in the corner, one of Naito's signature moves. So, getting the arm he likes to use. Not really sure what the technical name would be. It's a form of suplex there. Kind of a chicken wing suplex. I'm not sure. Kind of going for a big forearm, but got caught. Hanma looking for a suplex. I know fights out of it, but eats the big headbutt. Misses the clothesline. Naito takes a boot. Hanma hits the big headbutt, drives Naito down. Go for the driver. Looking for that driver. Naito trying to fight out of it. Does not want to get hit with that. Hanma, brainbuster. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Calling for the big headbutt, the Kakeshi from the top. I think that's a mistake. You should go for the driver first. Naito getting up. Hanma doesn't attempt anything. Naito catches him on the top. Might work to Hanma's advantage here if he can prevent Naito from hitting something here. If he can get him off the top and then hit the headbutt, he might have him. Naito managing to fire off on Hanma and keep him from doing anything. Looking for a Hurricane Rana. Takes him over. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Suplex. Well, a suplex is a side slam. 2, only a 2 count. Captures the arm and then slams him down with a side slam. Arm capture, side slam. Naito going for that finisher of his. Hanma stops him with just a straight headbutt. And again, completely unprotected too. Going for the driver. Naito gets him down in, gets that lock in. Hanma struggling. And Naito manages to get him clear back in the middle of the ring. Hanma needs to do, he's closest to the rope over there behind the ref. He needs to turn around and get to that rope. There he goes. Stands up now, stomping on Naito. The hold broken. But is he going to be able to retaliate? Naito hits another drop kick, rolling kick there. Now looking for the finisher, but takes a big clothesline. Hanma driving him all the way down to the ropes. Whip. Hanma hits another headbutt. Really got him that time. Looking for the driver. Hits it. 1, 2. Oh, only a 2 count, but a long one. Looking for the headbutt. Can he get it? Naito moves it the last moment. Both men slow to get up. What Hanma really should do here is try and get Naito down to the mat and work on his knee here. If he could just lock in some simple hold on Naito's leg or an arm, just something to keep him down so he has a chance to recuperate from missing the headbutt, he'd have a better chance here. But he's going right into the big forearms. He's not going to play the ground game. Naito really driving him in, egging him on. Hanma driving one in of his own. Both men staggered. Naito gives way first, but fires back hard. Now they're just wailing on each other. Naito getting the better of it. Now Hanma. And Naito goes to the knee. Hanma just slapping the crap out of him. Enziguri connects. Reverse DDT. 1, 2. Only 2 count. Scoop into a reverse DDT. Good move there. Really tends to take people off guard. They're not expecting the DDT. They're expecting to be scoop slammed. Naito going for the finisher and hits it. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's the last of the 5th round for B block. Standings right now. As I said, the A block, it's really all a story. So far, it's a story of Okada and Makabe with Marufuji just 1 win behind. B block, a lot more going on here. They got Elgin at 3 wins. Nagata, Naito, Nakajima, Omega, and Yoshihashi all at 3 wins so far. Hanma, Shibata, and Yano at 2 each. Evil down at 1. Hanma having to be piggybacked out of the ring, out of the arena. And finish up here. One last little self-promo thing. You can check out my music. Again, my music producer name is Acidheads, ACIDHEDZ. I have music for sale, albums up at sellfy.com/acidheads. You can also find me on YouTube, SoundCloud. And my website is acidbathproductions.biz. So come by and check out the website. And that wraps it up for this one, so we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.